Okay, this is Orlando Wilson. What I want to talk about in this video is a business aspect to do with the close protection business, well, security business in general. And I've done a video in the past, reference people going after brand name clients, influential clients, etc. And I said there's so much competition. I said in that video, there's so much competition. There's so many people going after those clients, going after the celebrities, the top places, the top brands, etc., trying to get security contracts, close protection contracts. That knocks down the money for those clients, because those clients don't need to pay. Well, they should be paying a good rate, but there's that many people that just want to be associated with them. There's so many idiots in the close protection business, security business, that think, okay, if we get this brand name client, we'll get other clients from that, so we don't have to make a profit from this client. So this is where I know top hotels in London where security companies have gone in, they must have been going in at cost, which by cost I mean they're not making any money off the contract. They just want that contract to be able to say, okay, we have a famous hotel in London, and hopefully from that they'll get other business from it. Yes, it works sometimes, but a lot of times it screws up the business. Anyway, there's money to be made in the security business in general, not just from going after top-end clients, but maybe going after, I'm not going to say bottom-end clients, because you make a lot of money from them, the less glamorous work. And this is where a lot of the man guarding companies, and I know people that's big into the man guarding, and a lot of people, especially in the close protection business, look down on the man guarding business, but a well-run man guarding company can make a lot of money. Why? Because they're making money for every minute, second, hour, week they have people out working. This is where it's not a quality business. Well, it can be a quality business, but generally it's not the top quality business, because you're not paying top quality money, but you can make a lot of money in the man guarding business. I remember years ago, this was clarified to me by some old Irish guy in London that owned a pub. And I used his conference room a couple of times. This was, I forget, it was in the Maida Vale area in London, nice area. And he had a nice place. I used his conference rooms a couple of times. Nice, old, typical Irish guy that'd been in the pub business his whole life, yeah? And I mentioned one bar to him, and I said, I don't know how that place exists. It's a shithole. And he knew the place I was talking about, and he said, yeah. He said, but it's always busy, right? And it clicked to me. I said, yeah, it's always busy. He said, you know what? He says, he had a nice place. He says, that place, most probably the place we was talking about, he said, that turns over a lot of money. Why? It might be a dump. The tables are covered in graffiti. They had the chairs, I think a lot of the chairs were turned up bar kegs, and it was just a dump. Yeah, typical British pub. The beer was cheap. You didn't get the best of people in there, to put it politely. It was not right next to some council flats, apartment blocks, housing projects, you call them in US. But he said he was right. The place was always busy. He said, yeah, they have problems, they're cheap, etc., but they're making a lot of money. And that clarified things to me, because again, it's like, you don't have to, this is where a lot of people in the boutique security world, close protection world, we want to provide the best services to the best clients. Where a lot of times, if you're shooting for the more, I can put it, ordinary clients, the mainstream clients, you can make a lot of money providing very competitive services at competitive prices. The man guarding company, you think about it, if you've got 50 guys out and you're clearing $1, a pound, a euro profit per hour off each of those guys, you're bringing in 50 euros an hour, $50 an hour, etc. Times that by 24, times that by 7 days a week, times that by 365 days a year. That's how they make money. So this is where with a lot of the close protection contracts, we look to go in at, we charge good rates, we want good money, and yes, we can make good profit, but they're short term. Whereas a lot of the man guarding companies, they can make a lot more money than the close protection companies. Why? They're bigger, they have more people, they're not so selective about their clients, etc. And again, it's money coming in 24/7. Even if it's pennies, they're making money 24/7. I know people, I know quite a few people that do business in, so we say, questionable areas in the hood and US, etc. And I remember talking to some real estate guy, and his thing was flipping apartment blocks in the hood, or buying them, doing them out, renting them out to Section 8, which is renting them out to welfare through the government, etc. And he was making excellent money. And he said to me, it's like there's always a need for the lower end market, and it makes sense. If you got, I know one guy, I done some events at his place in Fort Lauderdale, owned top mansion on the Intercoastal in Fort Lauderdale. Place was worth, I think he bought it for 16 million. That guy was having trouble selling that place when the markets crashed that many years ago, because nobody wanted to give him what he paid for it. From what I heard, he ended up selling it for quite a few million less than what he bought the place for, so he took a big loss. Whereas the gentleman I knew, I'd done some firearms training for, because he needed it because he's working in the hood, he was always busy. He was renting his Section 8 apartments and his cheap apartments out. He was renting them out as quick as he could find them, redevelop them, and put them on the market. So this is where, when we're looking at, I do what I do because I enjoy what I do. But you also need to look at it from the business perspective of, don't turn your nose up at what could be the lower end work, or what you class as being the lower end work, because a lot of times there's a lot of money. There's more money in the lower end of the business, or is providing cheaper services and cheaper products to people, than there is supplying the high end stuff. The high end market is a very exclusive market, and only a few people can afford your services. Yes, you can still provide those services, but you got to think about, what are you going to be doing between clients? If you got the clients lined up that can always pay for your exclusive services, no problems. But if you don't, then think about the lower end of the market, what's looked upon as being the lower end of a market, but there's plenty of people willing to pay. People have the money. Somebody said to me this years ago in the sales business, it's like, you know what, you're trying to sell a 50,000 diamond ring or something, yeah? $50,000 piece of jewelry. How many people can afford that? Very few these days. How many people can afford to pay cash? Even fewer these days. So you have to find an exclusive client. But there again, if you look at how many people are going to spend $10 on something, $10 on something that's useful, a lot of people. $5, even more people will pay it. So you're better off maybe having a lot of people that's willing to pay $5, or have a $5 service, a $5 service, a $5 product that people are willing to pay for and have the money to pay for, than having an exclusive service, a $50,000 piece of jewelry, which you can't sell. If you're selling the $5 services and the $5 products, you're making more money than the person that sat on a $50,000 piece of jewelry, and nobody wants to buy it because nobody has the money, or they want it. So that's another thing. Maybe you can make more money on the lower end of the market, the cheaper services, than you can on the higher end of the market and the more exclusive services. But this is something you need to consider if you're getting into the close protection business, and again, the security business in general. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, and be open to expanding into other areas of your business. Always be looking out to make money. And the close protection business, the security business, is about making money. It's a business. So open your mind up to all options. So just a little video there, just my opinion on something. In the meantime, follow me along on social media. I've got an array of these videos up, and I also have an array of books up on Amazon that talk about various aspects of the security business, close protection business, investigations, crime fiction, etc. So in the meantime, be good, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and don't forget the close protection business, security business. If you're in the business, you're in the business to make money.